Hey, it's Carmichael, and in today's video, I'm going to show you my take on Gary V's best advice on how to succeed on social media. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Overcome your insecurities.
Over the last year, what has become unbelievably obvious to me that works for me, thousands of other people, and the brands that are winning in society, the businesses that are growing, the one correlation that's just black and white to me is volume of creative. How many times do they post quality content? How much influencer marketing? How many articles, white papers, podcasts, videos? Way the world is working with internet content, there is so much content. You could never oversaturate the market, even if you made 90 pieces of content a day about yourself. But this is why I went over here as I'm talking. The interesting part of why most of you are not producing enough content has a hell of a lot more to do with this than with this. We are crippled by other people's opinions. You're not posting because you want it to be perfect. Why do you want it to be perfect? Because you're insecure. You know why? Because it just ruins your day when Fat Pants 86 leaves a comment and says that you're right? You're just super sad when you post something and you're used to getting 89 likes, but this one got 62. I have become outrageously fascinated by something over the last 2 years, which is, oh my God, the majority of people live their lives based on other people's opinions. Whether it's their parents, older sibling, or even worse, the current state, the anonymous person in their YouTube comments. That sucks. And so over the last 2 years, especially the last year, I'm trying to figure out what is this and how do I speak about this in a world where I know the majority of the reasons you came here today can be solved by your ability to produce content on 7 websites for real. For real. Why were people not doing it that blindly believed that to be true? It became about judgment. It became about mindset.
Rule number 2, don't be selfish.
And so it's interesting for me to be at this event, knowing that there's so many people that are creating. But the thing that no question to me is a great starting point is I am blown away how many creators spend all their time being selfish mentally. Like 99% of the emails and DMs and conversations I have in conferences like this are predicated on how do I get more subscribers? How do I get more engagement? How do I get more money from brands? How do I quit my job and do this full time? How do I? So I will tell you, without knowing most of you in any shape or form, I still will default into that 95% of the people in this room will not get to where they want to get to because their entire filter on everything they're doing is 100% selfish. And the only way to actually amass victory in this game where, as amazing it is that we live in a day and age now where you can be a creator and just live your life and love what you do and make a living, the equal problem is anybody can do it, which creates a very fun dichotomy of supply and demand. This is a simple game of supply and demand. Anybody tomorrow can be a Slimer or a travel vlogger or a business expert or an entrepreneur, right? Anybody can do that. The problem for everybody here is anybody can do that. And then who's gonna get people's attention? The people that are gonna get people's attention fall into a very basic bucket. Number 1, the second biggest vulnerability for the creators in this room and the people at home that will watch this is A, it's I. B, it's just not the truth.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in. The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a note. Like, that scares the out of me what these 3 people are doing right now.
Rule number 3, stop obsessing about your number of followers.
There's a quote from one of the articles by a CEO of a social media agency saying, with someone with 6 followers who's on Twitter and who makes a nasty tweet, it's completely irrelevant. Now, tone is lost in text, so I don't want to flame him, which is why I'm not even bringing up who said that or where it was said, but it was a quote, and it's one that really drives to the heart of why I want to make this video. I am completely stunned that for all the talk of the new world, this, that, and the other thing, we continue to talk in old school terms of the absolute number, the scale of how many impressions, right? The scale of how many followers, which is so irrelevant. That statement is ludicrous. What if your 6 followers happen to be Sally, Johnny, Tommy, Jimmy, and Chris, and you tweet out that you hate British Airways, and one of those 6, which are irrelevant, let me just read it again, because it's very exciting for me. With someone who has 6 followers on Twitter and who makes a nasty tweet, it's completely irrelevant. So, I don't know how 6 human beings are irrelevant, but that's a separate story. But what if one of those 6 people happen to be Sally, and she retweets it? Now, Sally has 39 followers. Still, an irrelevant number based on this guy's point of view. What if one of those 39 people happen to be one of her friends from college who happens to be a showrunner on the Today Show? What if that happens, dude? What if that happens? And then all of a sudden that showrunner brings that tweet or awareness or statement or comment or picture or whatever it may be to those producers of that show, and then all of a sudden it's on the Today Show the next day or the USA Today newspaper or somewhere of bigger magnitude and bigger scale that this person believes is important. The thought that other human beings or low numbers of those human beings are irrelevant is ludicrous. The absolute number doesn't matter. You can have 1 million followers, you can have 100 followers. One proper tweet, one proper statement can go to other people, and the word of mouth plumbing that social networks are allows everything not to go viral. You don't need to go viral, you just need to go to the right person. You can have 2 followers. They can be Oprah and Obama, and that matters. This absolute number thing, it's very, and we continue to keep talking about that. It's not irrelevant. Every consumer's word does matter because word of mouth is now at scale and has infrastructure to go somewhere. And we need to start thinking about that in a very serious way because we completely misunderstand it. The thing that a lot of, single-digit entrepreneurs are getting caught up with is you care too much about how many subscribers and followers you got.
Yeah.
If you promise me this, it will help you so much. If you just make the songs that are in your heart, if you just make the content you want, if I could get you to just never look at how many followers you have for the next 10 years, you will win. It's gonna be hard. All your friends are gonna ask how many. Everybody here cares how many and they're grown. But if you can get to that place where you don't care about that one thing, it will help you so much you could never imagine.
Okay.
Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
If you talk about your real life, which is obviously very different than our real life, based on how you see things in the world, it will be really interesting.
Yeah, that's how my songs are. Like, I don't tell fake stuff. I don't want to tell fake stuff. I want to tell my life story and how I got here.
I love it. Keep getting your thing, girl. I love you.
Rule number 4, scale the unscalable.
I just think you've got to rethink the entire thing, but to break through the noise, by definition, you have to do something fundamentally different than what everybody else is doing, and everybody else is doing the same thing. I call it the Taylor Swift rule. So I think Taylor Swift hacked culture. I think Kanye does it as well, believe it or not. Here's what they do. You scale the unscalable if you want to break through the noise today. So let me explain. What Taylor Swift's very good at is she knows that when people tweet her and say, Taylor, come to my wedding and sing me a song, she actually does it. Here's why she does it. The 75-minute allocation of her time to do something like that is not ROI positive for Taylor based on what she makes for her time. However, the amplification of doing something that makes no sense on paper is where she gets all her value. So I get yelled at by all my smartest CEO friends, the most fancy gals and guys on earth, for still answering all these tweets and emails and replying one by one on Snapchat. But I know that depth is far more interesting than width in a world where the width has just become completely, obnoxiously loud and impossible to break through.
And rule number 5, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is create authentic content.
In a world where there's a lot of people that should stand up here and give the presentation over me when it comes to thumbnails and headlines and what I would call growth hacking, it's super important, but I feel like everybody here is either grounded in it or knows its importance and will continue to try to learn those tactics. The one thing that I'm seeing from a lot of creators in this room specifically and outside, similar to a lot of the creators in here, is they are getting so growth hack oriented that it's manipulating and diluting the actual story, and it's just about hacking and getting the numbers, which is great for the short term, but is the reason so many people have lost in the long term, because they become mathematical machines and their story becomes less authentic and they become a caricature of themselves that are basically pandering to the growth in the category they want to be successful in. This has been the single reason I feel like I've had continuous success, because I just stay kind of in my thing, and if it works at the time at YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat, mazel tov, and if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people having more followers or making more money, because I know when I deviate, you have only a chapter instead of an entire career. So I implore so many of you, I understand, especially hanging out with everybody here, it's like, oh, you have 4 million subscribers, like, you know, all that. I get it, it gets very competitive, we're humans, I get it. But please do me a favor, please, please, please be religious to hold on to your truths and your stories, because when you start diluting from that, you start beginning the process of you becoming irrelevant.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Gary on how to care about your followers that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, what are your insecurities that you need to overcome? Number 2, how will you stop obsessing about your number of followers? And number 3, how can you scale the unscalable this week? And if you promise you take action after watching this video, we don't just watch videos, we do something about it. Give me a hashtag believe in the comments and then get to work.
Time is the asset. Give time to your fans, your followers, the people that care. Care a little bit more than the next guy, than the next girl, and see the returns. People want to say that it's not about the hard work. They want to say it's about working smart. It's just not. It's about both. Use the tools that are in place today. Show a little extra effort. Go deep instead of wide. Don't worry about how many followers you have and how you can spam them all. Try to make connections deeper one by one. They will last longer. They will mean more. There's more leverage in them. Use Twitter video the right way and see the results. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want Gary Vee's advice on how to win on Instagram, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.